Welcome back. You're listening to Half Hour to Health. I'm Dr. Stephanie with Dr. Barry Taylor, a Massachusetts-based naturopath, and becoming quite the regular here on Half Hour to Health. Thank you for spending some time with us today. We're talking about sleep. And for those of you that may have insomnia or maybe struggle a little bit with getting a good night's sleep or waking up feeling rested, we'd like to give you some tips. So tell us about some of the remedies and advice that you have for someone that's struggling with sleep.
Well, before we spend any money and take any remedies, one of the things that I've personally noticed, and like you for many years, I've been blessed with sleeping well, has not been an issue. But I also can track the quality of my sleep being very related to exercise.
Mm.
So the listeners should know that, if you've evaluated them in a chiropractic way, that they need to be mindful about, please don't do this with your body, and you're coaching them. But then whether some people are okay on an elliptical, and some people are okay to dance, and some people are okay to do yoga, and some people are okay to swim, but getting your heart rate up and moving from an anaerobic to an aerobic mode does some extraordinary things. There's something in your brain called endorphins that have to affect mood. But without going deeply into what happens to the brain, I'll just say that people who are more sedentary might sleep like they're dead because their nervous system is so exhausted that they crash. They don't have a sleep problem. But we're talking about people who sleep where they wake up refreshed. They wake up ready to click their heels and say, let's go to Oz today. Different than somebody who, I don't have any problem sleeping, but they wake up tired or they're caffeine dependent. So one of the things to let the listeners know is move your body, start with walking, maybe swim depending on the season, or do something that will put a smile on your face, something that'll put a lilt in your moving yourself, and really begin to appreciate the flow and what it's like to really move and breathe. I have found that is amazing for depression and anxiety, amazing for sleep. So that's one of the
Exercise.
big
Move
big
your
things.
body.
Move your body.
It's free.
It's free. And before we go to remedies, tell me about your experience with adjusting people in sleep.
Yeah. Oftentimes people that have sleep problems notice when they get their spine adjusted, when they're improving the alignment of the vertebra in their spine through chiropractic adjustments, they sleep better. They fall asleep easier. They get a better night's sleep. They wake up more rested. And it was interesting that looking at sleep.org, right? We're going to go to a website that is an authority on sleeping. They had recommended chiropractic care, and they said that 1/3 of people who have had a chiropractic adjustment report that they experience immediate sleep improvement.
Mm.
And they also wrote that 40% of infants experience deeper slumbers after just one session with a chiropractor.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
sleep.org.
So how does that work? So I don't know anything about chiropractic, and I would like to sleep better. Are you telling me if you adjust my neck and you adjust my spine, am I going to get better blood flow to my brain? Am I getting better nervous energy? How is
So much that happens with a chiropractic adjustment.
Okay.
To keep it simple, though, a subluxation is a vertebra that's shifted out of alignment.
Okay.
And it affects your nerves. It affects blood flow. It affects your muscles. But the primary issue that we see with the subluxation is it's compromising the communication between the brain and the body.
And could I have a subluxation? Could our listeners have a subluxation and not know it?
Of course, they're not always painful. Only about 6 to 8% of your nerves perceive pain. So if there's not irritation on those pain fibers, if you will.
So we're talking about the way that vertebrae is stacked on top of one another, your cervical vertebrae in your neck, and then your thoracic vertebrae all the way down your spine, going to your lumbar. They can get twisted one way or rotated on top of one another. That's what you're calling, new word?
Subluxation.
Subluxation. Okay.
Vertebral misalignment.
And by getting them to be stacked more optimally,
your body functions better, including things like sleep.
Good. Well, okay. So when someone sees me as a naturopath, I'm looking at calcium, enormously deficient mineral. Please don't, you do not need to drink milk. Sorry, that's a huge milk lobby, dairy lobby, tens and tens of millions of dollars over many years to have people think that you got to drink milk or have dairy to have calcium. You could have tahini, you could have carrot juice, you could have almonds and almond butter, lots of places to get good amounts of calcium. And lots of minerals like magnesium. However, calcium is the key. So there are certain calcium supplements that are extraordinarily poorly absorbed, and there are other calcium supplements that are better absorbed. I refer people to go to my website. I have a whole bunch of supplements, and you can press a download button and read how they work. So there are herbs that are called nervines. That's a category different than herbs that are good for the digestive system or good for adaptogens, help your body adapt. So nervines are a category of herbs that are very, very, very high in calcium. Now, some of them are quite strong sedatives, some of them less. So hops in beer, no, don't go out and have beer, but hops in beer is a sedative. So I have a number of beers, you might get more sleepy. So there's Sleepytime tea, that's very inexpensive at a health food store. That's a collection of herbs that you could have at 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. It's not going to, it's not like taking Ambien, which have lots of side effects. There are sleeping pills that have side effects. So there are herbals that are like in tea bags, and then there are other herbs that are in tinctures. Valerian is very strong smelling. Passionflower, very small, strong smelling. So I make them in capsules. There are different formulas that I use in a Love Your Body line. And people could, email me or call me if they have questions. Or you can just go to a health food store and start to ask for, do you have a capsule? Or tablet, but be a capsule, or it could be in a dropper bottle that really helps with sleep. Some of those are going to be strong tasting, but you put a half a dropper in a little bit of water and you can start to get your body to relax. It's not going to be like you were just hit over the head with a hammer, and you couldn't drive, but it's going to help train your nervous system to relax. Now, there are also things besides herbs that are amino acids. So I make something that's an amino acid called theanine. The name of the product is called Healthy Calming. And you could take that during the day if you have a low level or pretty good level of anxiety. People might take it more at night to help them relax and sleep. I don't make this, but one could get this at a health food store called rhodiola. That's another really good herb to help the nervous system relax. So getting back to amino acids, GABA, G-A-B-A, is an amino acid. That's what Ambien releases in the brain. So you could take Ambien with a prescription, or you could take 500,000 milligrams of GABA after dinner and, give yourself an hour or two, take it 8 at 9 o'clock with a little bit of water, and that can help a lot of people sleep without it causing any kind of dependency. Better to do that under the care of somebody like me that somebody trusts to get fully evaluated, but very little to no harm taking theanine in a calming formula, GABA in a sleep formula. Last thing I'll say is melatonin's really good, 3 milligrams, 5 milligrams, but it's better with people who are crossing time zones. Their biorhythm is out. They're going to California, they're going to London, that. And so that kind of pattern interrupt, melatonin will help them balance the rhythm again. I use melatonin in a brain formula that listeners can look up, Healthy Brain 2. Healthy Brain 1 is for memory. Healthy Brain 2 is a sleep formula that can be really effective.
Excellent. So your website, www.drbarrytaylor.com, drbarrytaylor.com. And you've got a lot of resources there, including some of our archived radio shows that we've done.
This is true.
So a lot of free information
Yep.
people can
Lots
surf over.
Lots of articles on sleep and supplements and all sorts of things.
So I thank you for being on the show again.
We had a time again.
We got 1 minute left.
We're going to go sleep now?
Well,
Afternoon naps? Oh, got to say something about afternoon
yeah,
naps.
what's your opinion on afternoon naps? Because I have my own opinion.
2 words called love them.
Yeah? So what's the difference between a nap, maybe 20 minutes, versus like a drool fest of 3 hours?
2 hours, yeah. It's kind of one thing we didn't mention that maybe we'll do another show. Different ways of meditating. 5-minute breathing, 10 minutes listening to some space, new age music, doing some Tai Chi, really knowing how to just sit down and allow the mind to settle for 90 seconds, 2, 3, 5 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, sounds like a really long time, has profound effects on people needing less sleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whole nother show right
there.
So
that's an example of taking a 5-10 minute, I call it a power nap. We're not talking about, what did you say, called a drool?
A drool fest.
A drool fest. My goodness, never heard that. I think if people can just close their eyes, just sit up, get quiet, and just 5 or 10 minutes, it can be enormously valuable for the quality of your attention and your awareness for the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. And that cumulatively does affect on, you get better at putting yourself to sleep. And if you don't have problems putting yourself to sleep, the quality of your sleep is deeper because you've been more relaxed during the day from that 5-minute power nap / meditation.
Well, you've heard it here. If you're not sleeping well, we can help. drbarrytaylor.com. Also, if you'd like to have a spinal evaluation at Crossroads Chiropractic this month, you can do that for just $49. Have your spine evaluated for subluxations. Find out how chiropractic might be able to help you. With locations in Epping, Meredith, and in Pembroke, give us a call at 575-9080. That's 575-9080. Or on the web at crossroadschiropractic.com. Until next time, we wish you a healthy, happy, wonderful weekend. We'll see you next time here on WTPL.